Is it worth investing in the Canon SL3, also referred to as the 250D, for video functionality? Welcome to the channel, my name is Kai Song. Not too long ago I did a review video on the Canon M50 for video functionality, and quite a few of you want to know more about what video is like on the 250D, also referred to as the SL3. So that's what we're talking about today. The SL3 is a DSLR camera with a 24 megapixel crop frame sensor that allows you to film video in up to 4K quality. It's got a microphone input, a flip out screen, it's lightweight, and because of those features, it has gained much attention from those looking to use it as a cost-effective option for their video needs. So what video options are available to you? First up, let's look at the HD options. You have 1920 by 1080, and you can film at 25, 30, 50, and 60 frames per second. And of course, in this mode, you can fully utilize the dual pixel autofocus, as well as the face and eye tracking, which is great. Something that might upset some filmmakers is that there is no 24p in 1080. That might change in the future, but there is 24p for 4K filming. When it comes to recording times, the SL3 can record for up to 29 minutes and 59 seconds, and this includes 4K filming, which is a decent recording limit for a 4K camera at this level. And although there's no built-in stabilization, the Canon SL3 has a 5-axis digital image stabilization function that helps capture smooth movies even when shooting handhelds, making it usable for vlogging or B-rolling on the go. One thing I would suggest here is that you turn that image stabilization off if you're going to mount the S3 to a gimbal. Now, one of the biggest nightmares for all videographers and filmmakers alike has got to be blurry, out of focus footage. But thanks to dual pixel autofocus, you can banish those fears from your creative projects. And DPAF is pretty much a staple for all newer mid-range Canon cameras, and the SL3 is no exception. It has this DPAF feature installed, allowing you to get great focus by simply tapping on what you want to focus on, and greatly reducing the risk of missing focus on your subject of interest, so that you can focus on your composition and your lighting and not worrying about whether your subject is in focus or not. Canon certainly uses 4K video on the SL3 as a selling point, but is it any good? Well, I've done a couple of review videos on the SL3 now, and I'm getting a lot of questions specifically on the 4K filming capabilities. In fact, the first opportunity where I was able to test the 4K filming capabilities of the SL3 was in October of last year at MCM Comic-Con, where we mounted the SL3 to a Ronin S gimbal and put together a little cosplay video, which we highlighted in an earlier review video, but which was scaled down to 1080p. And some people were not happy about that. So here it is in all its 4K glory. And initial issues with the 4K filming can be seen here. First of all, the crop factor. Yes, there is an extreme crop factor of 2.64 times when shooting 4K when compared to a full frame camera. This means that your 18mm kit lens is going to have a similar field of view to a 45mm on a full frame. And here is an example of that 4K crop in comparison to some upscaled 1080 footage. Other issues that we've seen are with focusing when you're filming in 4K. You lose the ability to use dual pixel autofocus, and you have to use a more primitive form of focusing, which isn't great. Additionally, all the filming modes are compressed using IPB compression, which means that there is no all-I compression, which I know a lot of you filmmakers like to use for that extra quality. And when it comes to storage space, a 30-minute or 29 minutes and 59 seconds 4K recording takes approximately 27 gigabytes of storage when compared to a HD recording at the same amount of time at 60 frames per second, which requires about 14 gigabytes. What also might be of interest to some of you here is the card that I use for filming for 4K, and that is the 256GB Extreme Pro 95 megabits per second aps-c card, which has had no issues at all recording 4K on the SL3. Another thing that's been pointed out to me by quite a few of my subscribers is that this DSLR camera is a good option for a live streaming setup. And this is primarily down to the ability to output clean HD and clean 4K, which means that you can hide the information overlay during HDMI output. So should you part with your hard-earned cash to invest in this camera for the video capabilities? Well, it depends on what you're planning to do with it. The fully articulating touchscreen, the microphone input, the ability to use cheaper lenses because of the EF mount, like the 50mm 1.8 as an example, dual pixel autofocus, and the digital image stabilization function make it extremely desirable for vloggers. And on top of that, its size, its lightweight, and decent battery life make it ideal for travel videos. And as we've recently mentioned, the clean HDMI out, removing those menus, makes it ideal for a live streaming setup. But for corporate filmmaking, I personally wouldn't use this for any client work or for any paid work. And again, with the 4K, it's okay for controlled environments, but that crop makes it impractical for things like 4K vlogging. And that's a real shame because this camera is so compact and so light. So are there any of you out there looking to purchase this camera specifically for the video capabilities? And if so, what are you looking to film with it? Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, guys, do consider subscribing to the YouTube channel and tapping that bell button for notifications. So thanks very much for watching. That's it for today. Stay creative, stay safe, imagine, implement, and inspire. And I'll catch you next time on KaiCreative.